Hey y'all. So today's tutorial is going to be about strengthening and mobilizing our spine. So if you have not watched the previous tutorials, please take a second and watch those because that will apply in today's tutorial as well. So you'll want to have a little basic familiarity with what we have talked about in previous tutorials. So today's topic is strengthening and mobilizing the spine, which your spine is very dynamic, right? It is a big, long chain of vertebrae here, 26 vertebrae, that at certain times of exercise will need to stabilize. Think holding a plank, right? Or think stabilizing your spine when you're lifting something really heavy. And then there are times where we need to mobilize and move our spine around. Think of like your roll ups, your roll overs. So in a good Pilates practice, you're going to have an even mix of both of those categories, stabilization and mobilization. And that's a good thing, right? We want to get that nice core strength and that core mobility as well. So some good exercises to demonstrate what I mean when I say core stabilization, spinal stabilization versus spinal mobilization. Let's begin first with mobilization, okay? And that's a good old-fashioned cat-cow exercise. So let's go ahead and hop onto your hands and your knees here. So we're gonna go into a nice quadruped position. So you're gonna have your knees underneath your hips, about hip distance apart. Your hands are underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance apart. All right, now if this position does not feel nice on your wrist, just go ahead and close your knuckles and soften your elbows right here. So you have a closed fist stance as well. Now, regardless of how you hold your hand, you should be unlocking your elbow anyway. Don't spin those elbows out straight. Stop it. Pull it back in. All right, so we're gonna explore our cat and cow, or our spinal mobilization. I'm moving my spine. So let's begin first with your cat. So you're gonna tuck your tail round the lower back, pressing all the way up into your lowest rib, and allow your head to come forward and just relax off of your neck and shoulders. Now we're gonna start from your tail. Stick your tail out, rolling through your spine, opening up your chest and picking up your head. And good. Now, holding this position right here, don't sag the abs like I am right now. Pull them in nice and tight. Now, deepen that engagement as you tuck your tail and you round it all the way up. Navel pulling tight to your spine. Watch your neck and shoulders, they don't shrug. And let's do that again. Inhale, rolling through and opening up your head and your chest. One more round. Tuck your tail, roll. And inhale and arch. Now let's come to a neutral alignment. So you're halfway between the two. So that was kind of forward flexion and spinal extension. Now we're gonna hold our neutral spine and we're gonna go into a nice C curve. So you're going to wag your tail to the right, left, and turn your shoulders to the left. So you're peeking over your shoulder to your hip, making a little C curve to the left. Now we're gonna take that to the right. So wag your tail to the right, look over your right shoulder to your right hip. Let's do that again, side to side. So left and right. One more round. And left, stretching out the sides of your spine right here. And right. And then coming through. Now, there is one where we can combine both of those exercises together. And that's going to create more of a spiraling action right here. It takes a little bit getting used to and some coordination, so don't fret if you don't get it right off the bat. Took me a second. So we're gonna combine those two together into one move. So from here, you're in your neutral alignment. Let's begin first holding your cat. So pelvic tuck, round your back, pressing your lowest rib up to the ceiling and tucking your chin to your chest. Now hanging on to this round spine, let's begin the C curve to your left. So you're still in a round back. You have your tail tucked, you've turned your hips to the left, you've turned your shoulders to the left, and you're looking over your left shoulder. Now you're gonna start to arch through cow, and we're gonna hang on to this arch, side bend to the right now. Side bend to the right, and coming back through cat. Again, going from cat to C curve left, from C curve left, going up to cow, and then cow, C, curve right, and then C, curve right to cat. Let's reverse the direction now. So we're gonna go to the right, and then through cow, then C, curve left, and cat. Again, to the right, and cow, and C, curve, and cat. Come through neutral. You can sit back and take a nice child's pose if you would like to, and relax. So that one was a little more dramatic, right? Just have fun with it. That was our demonstrating a lot of spinal mobility there. Did you happen to notice if there were certain areas of the move that you felt a little tighter? Maybe on those C curves, you're a little tighter on the lower back muscles. Just being more aware of how you move in your spine is very powerful. Just that body awareness can completely change how you connect with your Pilates practice, especially when it comes to our more challenging work, such as our roll-ups, our rollovers, our teasers, our boomerangs, etc., semicircles. Just being aware of how mobile you are in the different sections of your spine can really be a very useful tool. Okay, so from here, that was mobilizing our spine. Okay, now we're gonna be talking about stabilizing our spine. And I'm pretty sure you can figure out what that is, right? So compared to cat, don't, we're going to be holding plank, bump, bump, and breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. That is stabilization, right? So again, a nice example of big mobility through your spine versus no mobility through your spine. You're recruiting your deep core spinal stabilizers to hold something more challenging like that plank. So one last demonstration that you'll see quite a bit in your Pilates practice, we'll take this to our bridging, okay? So let's go ahead and have you lie down on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the mat. Okay, so here we are. We are on our back. Let's take a second and establish our neutral alignment. So you're rocking your hips back and forth, recruiting your lower abs and your spinal extensors as well, and then find that middle ground. So we are going to begin first with mobilizing our spine. So we're going to be going into a nice rolling bridge action. So let's have you place your hands at your sides on the mat, and you're actively pressing your arms. So your shoulder and your palm are very strong into the mat. Widen your collarbones. Now let's prepare for our movement. Inhale to prepare. Tighten the lower abdominals and pelvic floor first, and then move, pelvic tuck. And you're going to peel your spine, bone by bone, one after the other, until you're able to come up and rest your weight across your shoulder blades here. Keep a nice tuck to your tail so we don't end up splaying your ribs or arching your back right there. So you have a nice recruitment of the back of your legs, lower abs, and then upper back shoulder girdle here. Inhale at the top and exhale. Soften your sternum to lower the ribs. See if you can count or tune into each individual rib as you lay it down. Then each individual vertebra through your lower back. So take your time through your lower back. And then finally, your sacrum will touch down. We'll do that again one more time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pelvic tuck. Rounding it up, bone by bone, lifting it up, almost as if you were lifting up a strand of pearls. And then setting it down, setting that same strand of pearls down, bone by bone, pearl by pearl, until you have come all the way down and finished in neutral. Good. So that was mobilization. Stabilization, we're going to be hinging our hips up and moving our spine as one unit. So again, strong engagement of your upper body here. Feet are flat on the mat, core is tight and toned. We're prepped, ready for action. Inhale to prepare. Tighten up that lower belly. Exhale, press the hips up. Your whole spine lifts as one. Touch it down as one. We lift as one. We lower as one. Good. spinal stabilization. Very nice. So if you have, there will be different reasons for you to recruit that. And again, that is going to be more important to be aware of if you have a back injury or a pathology that does not allow you to mobilize your spine. Say you had a herniated disc or you had a spinal operation that fused one bone to the other. You're not going to be able to articulate and mobilize that part of your spine. So that's when you're really going to be wanting to focus on more stabilization exercises than mobilizing exercises, right? You have osteoporosis or any pathology of that nature. Again, you're not going to want to mobilize through your spine. You're going to want to focus on stabilization, right? So just being aware of that. If you have any particular issues, such as, spinal fusion surgeries, spondylolisthesis, any of those, you want to really hone in on your stabilization, not so much your mobilization. So I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole right there. So if you have any particular questions, reach out to me, email me, and we can discuss where you might need to be focusing your practice on. But being aware of the difference of when you're mobilizing versus stabilizing is very, very powerful, regardless if you have an injury or pathology or you have a totally healthy spine. Just that body awareness and commanding your movement with intention will totally empower and change the way that you practice. Not just Pilates, but beyond. Any exercise beyond this practice here is a very valuable tool using that body awareness. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today, talking about mobilizing and stabilizing our spine. Have fun applying that to your practice, and I will see you on the mat.